Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa wala. In a hadith that was collected by Imam Muslim in authority of Jabir ibn Abdullah, he said that the Prophet ﷺ came into the marketplace and he was surrounded by many of the companions. And then he noticed a dead baby male goat, a kid, but also had one of his ears severed. So a dead goat with severed ear. And then he turned over to the Sahaba as he points out to the goat. And he says, Sallallahu, who would want to buy this goat for 1 dirham, which is the smallest unit of currency? And the Sahaba said, O Prophet of Allah, none of us would, even if it is for free. And he says, Sallallahu, repeated the same request again. And they said, Ya Rasulullah, if that goat were alive, we wouldn't pay that much for it, because he is asak. Asak in Arabic is the one with a severed ear. That's a defect. Usually people avoid any defects in anything, let alone in an animal. So he says, Sallallahu, when now he has their attention, and he says, Sallallahu, this sensory physical world, this life, this life we're in, is far more insignificant, of no value with Allah than this goat with you. And the Prophet ﷺ always chooses teachable moments to really drive concepts that always put people in a realistic journey. A lot of times we walk around with so many cognitive distortions, meaning many misconceptions that we have. And those are beliefs that are distorted, yet those are the actual concepts and beliefs that drive our actions. And at the end of the day, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will reward each and every individual, or hold each and every individual based on the actions, not the thoughts. Unless a person had the intention in the space of belief, intended to do good, wasn't able to due to circumstances that prevented him from doing so, still get the reward for the intention. But the actions are actually the deciding factor for the reward or accountability, meaning for punishment. Now, the Prophet ﷺ, when he described the life of this world as being of no value, he also said, had the life of this world had any value in the eyes of Allah, He would not have given access for it to any disbeliever, even if it is a sip of water. But because of its insignificance, because of no value to it with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that's why Allah ta'ala gave access to the material, sensory possessions and pleasures and desires to everybody, and made those source of tests. And this is why, subhanallah, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put a comparison between the life of this world and the real life of the hereafter, described the life of this world as mata'ul ghurur. It is the life filled with delusional pleasures, delusional and attractive and incentivized pleasures that people are seeking. And that's why people are chasing after it. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, when in Surah Al-Ankabut, in Ayah 64, He says, subhanahu wa ta'ala, وَمَا الْحَيَاةُ الدُّنْيَا إِلَّا لَهْوٌ وَلَعِبٌ. That when it comes to concise and direct description and summarized description for the life of this world, he says that the life of this world is nothing but lahu, distraction, wala'ib, and amusement. At the end of the day, everything invested into the life of this world will deliver nothing but pleasures, distractions, and amusement. And at the end of the day, the life of this world is also going to come to an end. And each and every individual lifespan that Allah Ta'ala had decreed for that individual is going to come to an end. Also, any pleasures that we are seeking, they will come to an end. And one of the natural realities that are always sending signals and like buzzing, subhanallah, lights in our heart, in our spiritual realm, about the life of this world coming to an end, about our lifespan coming to an end, and any pleasures would come to an end. So subhanallah, even in the peak of any pleasure, be it food, drinks, marriage, transportation, housing, clothing, power, status, all of it, even while we are chasing after it, we derive some pleasure out of it. But even the duration of that pleasure, we are always in the back of our mind. We have that thought and the fear of it to be over. And a lot of times, subhanAllah, in the midst of what is supposed to be pleasurable, we are also exercising or experiencing the end of that pleasure as we're doing. Example of that is, subhanallah, if you were to imagine the most delicious meal and a dish to you, that pleasure out of that dish is only in the very first bites you're taking. The more you eat, the more you're experiencing the decline of the pleasure out of that dish, subhanallah, to the point that when you come to a point of satiation, that's it, shiba, man, you're full, you back off. And then if you continue to eat, or anybody insists for you on you to eat, you'll be repulsed. Here you went from coming hard on that dish because it is delicious, it is appealing, so all of that is happening, but the minute you are full, you don't want anything to do with it. Well, while it was just the most delicious meal and a dish just a minute ago, now you don't want anything to do with it. Such is the life of this world. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala does not want us to turn our interaction with the life of this world off altogether, to be part of it and be productive in it through actions, not through wishful thinking, through laziness. But at the same time, we have to have a clear concept as to what does our involvement with the materialistic achievement mean. It is a medium. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala put us and gave us access to so many mediums and instruments in the life of this world to be of use to us, not only to be productive and be good successors and good stewards in the life of this world, in this material, with our contributions to it, but at the same time use those instruments as means to build our home for the hereafter. And that is the essence of it. And that's why the concept goes, i'mal li dunyak, then be as assertive and as dedicated and as productive in this materialistic sensory world as if you are going to live in it forever. But the balance is, you work simultaneously for your hereafter as if you are going to die tomorrow. That's how the urgency is balanced between our contribution and participation in the sensory world, be it for our jobs, with our families, with ourselves, with everything around us, and anything Allah Ta'ala gave you and I access to in this sensory world. Be productive, be participant, and be the best participant in it. But at the same time, it is also just a medium for you to always build your home for the hereafter, meaning with your intentions. Attach your intention. Why are you being so productive and so sincere in doing so? Because the mindfulness of Allah, the mindfulness of the hereafter is front and center, always there, always present. And this is how you are always productive here, but at the same time, your end goal is the akhirah, not the end goal is the life of this world. And this is why they say that's what makes a difference between somebody who is slave to the materials versus somebody who uses the materials as mediums. And that should be the balance of Iman. And this is how the distorted perceptions can be rectified. And in our operational definitions of what we should do with the life of this world, as well as in the next, need to come to a balance. And who gives us the balance? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives us the balance. Ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to grant us a knowledge that is of benefit to us and allow us to practice that so we can bear the fruit, alhamdulillah, and benefit from the fruit of our hard work. Wa sallallahu wa sallam ala nabina Muhammad walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin.